Hey, looking for some game to pass some time? I have been playing Gunfire Reborn for the last 4 days and it's so much fun. It feels like a hybrid between Borderlands and maybe Risk of Rain. Borderlands because it has a lot of guns and all of those guns can have different mods. Some mods are normal, some mods are less common, and some mods are kind of unique. There are also Gemini mods which requires 2 guns. By the way, there are 2 heroes, a cat and a dog. And unlike Risk of Rain, you do get a sense of progression even after you fail, I guess, because there is a passive skill tree. Not as big of course as Path of Exile, but and probably it's not gonna be I don't know, build defining. It's just kind of generic but also very powerful things. The main passive skill tree is carried through all the rounds and you can keep upgrading it. I'm actually not sure if there's a limit of how many things you can upgrade. Maybe you can eventually upgrade everything. And then there are talents, which get reset every time you restart the adventure. Talents are based on your selected hero, while big passive skill tree, like I said, is generic and affects all the heroes. I assume later on there are gonna be more heroes and more guns, obviously. This is, by the way, still in early access, but the game is very cheap and I think it's very much worth it. So this game checks all the boxes that I'm looking for. Passive skill tree, check. Lots of guns, including dragon which you squeeze to shoot fire, check. Replayability, check. Smoothness, check. Monster called Kappa, check. Lots of interesting synergy between items, guns and your hero, check. Now the gameplay feels very smooth. Obviously it's not very high definition graphics, but I do like the art style. And the effects are really cool as well. The headshots are, well, hitting the weak spot, because the weak spot is not always the headshot. That also sounds satisfying. The movement, the jumps, the aiming, the weapon switching all feels very smooth and responsive. I played for over 20 hours now and I completed the game on normal and elite difficulty now. And I only saw very minor bugs. So for an early access game, I think it's in already very good state. Now let me give you a quick explanation how everything from start to finish works. After you select your hero and started the game, you spawn in the safe zone. There is a chest which you can only open once you get the passive node. When you open that chest, it will give you 3 weapon choices. You can pick only one. And then you enter the next zone. There are multiple zones before the boss. And there are 3 big bosses right now. And obviously multiple zones before the boss. There are some challenge rooms. Some include platforming, which I tend to hate. Once you destroy all enemies in each zone, you are able to move to the next zone and the next one until the boss. There are 2 types of chests, one that gives talent and another one that has some interesting mechanics like upgrading your weapon mods or giving certain scrolls. And scrolls are basically like items in Risk of Rain. They can give you all sorts of benefits or sometimes drawbacks. And some of the scrolls you cannot even remove, some of them you can. And you can actually drop them on the ground so your party members can pick them up. And by the way, up to 4 people can team up. And you can revive each other. Of course, enemies and the boss are gonna be stronger. But there is more synergy in team. For example, one can focus on dealing fire damage, which is good against the flash, just like in Borderlands basically. And lighting, for example, is good against the shield, and corrosive is good against the armor. By the way, you have one default weapon which never runs out of ammo, and then you can pick up 2 other weapons. Your hero has 2 abilities. One is like an ultimate and one is like a secondary skill. Both of those abilities can be upgraded through the talents. You can revive once. After that, you can no longer revive. But there are, almost said items, there are scrolls that can give you extra revives. Actually, I think I have been mixing talents and passives. I'm just so used to calling passives because of Path of Exile, but once you die, that's when you get to allocate your talents. What I have been calling talents before, it's called Ascension. Sorry for the confusion. And allocating talents is when you actually get the levels. And once you gain more levels, you unlock higher tiers of talents and other stuff. Certain items can only drop after you reach certain level. And you have to spend the talent points at the end of the match or it's gonna go to waste. Once you complete the normal difficulty after defeating the third boss, no spoilers by the way, then you unlock the elite difficulty. Once you do the elite, there is no other higher difficulty for now, I guess. I do hope there is gonna be a higher difficulty later, because I did complete elite in one go for the first time, while clearing the normal difficulty for the first time took me more than 3 days. And the passive skill tree definitely gives you, well, a lot of power. So don't feel bad if you keep failing. I think the game is designed for you to just keep doing that until you upgrade more passives. Well, I keep calling passives, upgrade your talents. learn all the enemies mechanics, all the boss mechanics, and figure out the weapons that you like. And by the way, there are lots of kind of builds. Once you get the right scrolls with the right weapon mods and the right ascension points, then you can start activating some very strong conditional damage mods and start seeing some crazy numbers. For example, your default attack may deal 700 damage, but with couple upgrades, couple items, it may suddenly hit for 17,000, 20,000, 50,000. For example, a mod that gives you more damage on the first shot or on the last shot, or both if you only have one bullet in the magazine. And then of course critical strikes, then lucky strikes, some other conditional things like if enemies are burning, if you have used your ultimate recently, and suddenly boom, you're hitting for 50,000. That is of course only for one shot, but it is very fun to build that kind of conditional thing. I guess it's not fair to say it's only for one shot. There are some other builds that synergize with the more times you hit the same target. You can even try to take down bosses in just a couple shots. So yeah, the game has a lot of replayability. And I'm gonna continue playing this despite beating the elite difficulty because there are so many more builds that I wanna try. And I have no doubt that in the future the game will grow and become bigger, better, with more stuff. It's just kind of strange how I didn't hear anything about this game a couple of days ago. So that's why I'm doing this video. I wanna help this game grow, become more popular, and evolve. By the way, I'm gonna be streaming this game for at least a couple more days, so if you wanna team up, hop onto my stream and we can do that. For now, thank you for watching and I will see you next time. Bye bye.